comedian David Boyle, and I'm quitting alcohol. So I'm reading this book at the moment, The Brothers Karamazov by Fyodor Dostoevsky. And fuck me, it is a battle. It's so fucking dense. Like every fucking conversation's 50 pages long, and every character in the book is like a fucking genius. Even the peasants, the Russian peasants, are talking like they're fucking literary professors. It's dense. Like, it's a great book. Is it a great book? No, it's definitely a great book, but I don't know if I would have got through the first 100 pages if it wasn't like Dostoevsky. If this book was written by a dude named like Harry Climmet or some shit, I would have fucking thrown the book in the bin like fucking 2 weeks ago. But it is a great book. Like, it's one of the classics. I think it's his masterpiece, and he has like 10 masterpieces, this cunt. But fuck me, it takes some winding into. It's like 800 pages. And here's the worst part about it for me. A couple of years ago, I was reading The Brothers Karamazov, and I got like 10 pages from the end, and I realized this fucking book is not going to resolve itself in the next 10 pages. And so I fucking Googled it and realized I only had book 1 of The Brothers Karamazov, and there's 2 fucking books to it. Because it's so fucking meaty, sometimes they split it into 2 books. And so I read book 1 2 years ago, and I tried to find book 2, and I did find a copy of book 2, but the translation was so bad I couldn't read it. I was like, no fucking way I'm reading that shit. Because the translation of the first book I read was fucking great. And then I tried to look for another one, and then you know what happens. Life gets in the way. You have a couple of kids, you go overseas, you go to India, you do shit like that. And it just fucking escapes you. So I found another copy of it, another good translation. But it's been so long since I read the first book the first time, I'd forgotten most of what happened. So I've been reading this book for almost a month now. And I just, like last night, got into the second half of the book. So I've just spent a month rereading some dense fucking shit. It's not shit, like it's obviously great. Obviously, but if fucking Harry Climmet wrote it, I'd fucking burn it. So I'm just getting into the new stuff now, and I've got like 350 pages left, and I don't know. I just want to fucking finish it. Most of the time I'm reading now, I'm just like, Jesus Christ, I just want this book to end. I just want it to end so I can tell people I read something fucking intelligent. Yes, I've read The Brothers Karamazov, masterpiece. The whole way through, enthralling. What a dissection of the human condition. The whole time I'm reading it, I'm like, just fucking, what page am I on? 367? I was on 364 an hour ago. What the fuck is going on? I want to do this though. There's about 20 pages in it that is like the best writing I've ever read. It's about lying and your conscience and a priest and shit like that. So what I want to do is, so you don't have to read the whole book, because none of you are going to get through this fucking book. I want to read these 20 pages. Nay, I'm going to read these 20 pages, and I'm going to put it on the Patreon for those of you who are interested. I just think there's so much in these particular 20 pages about like good, evil, your conscience, lying. It's just like there's so much to it that it would be a shame for people not to hear it because they can't get through the previous 300 fucking torturous pages. But it's a great book though. I love it. Great book. Masterpiece. Just a fucking absolute masterpiece. So I'm going to read those 20 pages and I'm going to chuck it on the Patreon sometime in the next, let's say 2 weeks. I'll let you all know when it's happening. Speaking of the Patreon, last night some people signed up for the Patreon. Some people fixed up their decline cards, and I'm back over 200 subscribers on the Patreon. So what I did today was I did a little post for the subscribers of the Patreon, just outlining some of my ideas for the new podcast, because that was the deal. I said I should have said 500, but I said 200. I said when I hit 200 Patreons, I'm going to start a weekly longer podcast, like an hour podcast. I'll just give you a quick rundown of my idea. This is my idea for the new podcast. I'm going to do an extended version of Fucked Up Fridays. I'm going to just do the first 5-10 minutes is just going to be me doing this. just fucking riffing, making you laugh, just fucking freeballing. That 5-10 minutes will get uploaded to this podcast. This will be my daily podcast. Then after that, I'm going to have guests. I'm going to have guests on this new podcast. Comedians, fucking musicians, interesting people, family, friends. I don't fucking know. Whoever's available, really. As long as they can cut the fucking mustard. So I'm going to get a guest on, and the guest is going to come prepared with their fucked up Friday story. So the guest will tell some fucking wild story. We'll riff on that a little bit, see what's going on there. Then I'll read out a fucked up Friday story. Me and the guest can shit on the story, shit on the grammar, shit on the spelling, all that sort of stuff. Bit of fun. Then probably just riff for a little bit longer. Then read out another story. And then after that, we'll just let the podcast peter out to a miserable end. So that's my idea for the new podcast. I just think it's a little bit too much if I fucking riff for an hour. It's too much. You hear me doing that every day. It'd be nice to hear someone else's voice once a week, wouldn't it? The only thing is, it's fucking hard to find good guests. Organizing all that shit, it's going to be a cunt. I don't want to do it. But I think it's probably time to mix things up a little bit. Fucking challenge myself a little bit. Do something a little bit different. I won't be starting this till I get back to Australia, though. There's no fucking way. It will 100% tank if it's all on Zoom. And I can't do it here because who the fuck am I going to get on? Anyway, for those of you who are on the Patreon, subscribers to the Patreon, I wrote the whole thing up. It's up there for you to look. I'm interested to hear what you have to say. If you have any ideas or want to fucking throw in some input, I am all ears. So you want to join the Patreon. The fucking Dostoevsky fucking shit's coming up soon. That shit I put out today is up there. I'm still going to do my meditation thing. The Patreon's getting wild out there. So sign up. The links are in my social media bios. I'm Boyle Comedy on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Or just simply send me a message. Say I want to sign up to the fucking Patreon, and I'll send you the link myself. Anyway, that will do for tonight. If you're enjoying the podcast, share it around. Enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll see you the fuck later.